Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel with me, Mufidatul Sandia. Today we are going back to basic. We are looking at the building blocks of spoken English. I'm going to be talking to you about the egg part of speech. Yeah, every single word you say has a role within a sentence, and every single word is a part of speech. And today we're going to be breaking it down and looking at each one it makes up nearly. Let's go. Previously, did you know what parts of speech are? Part of speech is the most basic part of a sentence in English. What functions does it have? Its functions is to make it easier for us to create our own sentences. Okay, are you ready? If you're ready to learn, let's start. There are 8 parts in the parts of speech. The first is noun, the second is pronoun, the third is verb, the fourth is adjective, the fifth is adverb, the sixth is preposition, the seventh is conjunction, and the last is interjection. Okay, let's discuss them one by one in detail. Let's talk about the first part of speech, in my opinion, the most important. Nouns. A noun is something that names something, such as a person, an idea, and place or thing. In a sentence, a noun can play the role of a subject, an indirect object, and direct object, and subject complement, and object complement, and a positive or an adjective. There are so many different types of nouns. They can name people, such as a woman, Taylor Swift, my mom. They can name a place, a zoo, room, the house. They can also name things, activities, concepts, processes, ideas, such as love, small, rugby, knowledge. Nouns are also divided into several types, but here I will only explain the 2 types of nouns, or explain the difference between the 2, namely countable nouns and uncountable nouns. First, we will explain countable nouns first. Countable nouns are for things we can count using numbers. An example is one dog, or a dog if it is singular, and 2 dogs if it is plural. If it is plural, add s or es endings. And second, namely uncountable nouns. Uncountable nouns are for the things that we cannot count with numbers. An example, water and sugar. They are objects that cannot be counted, because to count them you have to use other words. For example, some, a lot, a bit of, a little, few, and a cup of, and a bag of. Let's move on to the second part of speech. Pronouns. Pronoun is a word that's used instead of a noun or noun phrase. You use them when the reader or listener already knows the specific noun that you're referring to. For example, Nadia is my friend, Aka is so pretty, Hikmah told me that Hikmah wants to cook. Dian and Intan are perfect friends. Change to she is my friend, she is so pretty, she told me that she wants to cook. They are perfect friends. Now, There are quite a few different types of pronouns, and some pronouns are found in more than one category. I will present you with some of the most common. We have the personal pronouns I, me, you, she, her, he, him, us, we, they, them. We also have the demonstrative pronouns. They are that, these, and those. We also have indefinite pronouns, and these are used when the person or things doesn't need to be specifically identified. For example, one, other, everybody, anybody, nobody. An example, everybody loves my homemade pizza. Or some love bitter melon, others hate it. Other types include interrogative pronouns like who, what, which, and whose. Possessive pronouns like my, your, their, whose, and reflexive and intensive pronouns like myself, yourselves, themselves, and relative pronouns like whom, what, which. Let's move on to part of speech number 3, verbs. Listen to me, write what you hear, learn to speak. Everything that is in here is a verb. We use them all the time. Verbs are words that describe actions. We have dynamic or actions verbs that describe literal actions like walking, running, singing. We also have stative verbs that refer to feelings and states like to love, to think, to feel. Auxiliary verbs are used in English to change another verb's mood, voice, or tense. This is why they are referred to as helping verbs. The main auxiliary verbs are be, have, and do. We also have modal auxiliary verbs, commonly called modals or modal verbs. These are a big pain point for many students learning English. Modals are added to another verb to show capability or possibility or necessity, as will comment. Examples are might, must, can, could, should, and shall, and would, and will, and ought is also an important. Last part of this segment, phrasal verbs. Phrases that act as a single verb, they usually consist of a verb and a preposition. Okay, part of speech number 4, adjective. Adjective, this might be my favorite. Actually, these are the words that describe nouns, and adjective can go right before the noun it's describing. Now, one of the most important things that you can learn when it comes to adjectives is adjective order. I feel like this is a sneaky secret that's like the key to fluency. Only certain people know about this, and once they learn it, they are like. But I'll give you a quick summary from 1 to 10 order, in which we naturally say adjectives. Number 1, opinion, ugly, beautiful. Number 2, size, big, tall. Number 3, physical quality, neat, rough. 4, shape, for example, round or square. Number 5, age, old and young. Number 6, color, pink and orange. Number 7, origin, Indonesian and Japanese. 8, material, plastic, leather. 9, type, unisex, four-legged, for example. And number 10, purpose, saving, cooking. For example, so I will talk about my beautiful brown leather suitcase. Right? Number 5, let's talk about adverbs. An adverb is a word that describes an adjective, a verb, another adverb, or even a sentence. Have a look at this example. I gently lifted him out of bed. Here, the adverb is describing the verb. He is more interesting than you. That is an unusually tall tree. That the adverb is describing the adjective unfortunately. We had already left. Unfortunately, the adverb is describing the whole sentence. Okay, let's move on to preposition. Another topic that learners of English tend to find quite tricky. A preposition is a word that tells you when or where something is in relation to something else. For example, in, on, at, near, beside, to, by, and with. It tells you the relationships between words in a sentence. I put my bag on the table. I sat beside the wall. My birthday is on Monday. Speak part of speech number 7. Conjunctions. A conjunction is a word that's used to connect clauses, sentences, or words together. Firstly, let's look at coordinating conjunctions. They allow us to join words, phrases, or clauses of equal rank. The most common coordinating conjunctions are fun boys. Yeah, fun boys. No literally for, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. Fun boys, that's a great way to remember them. Here we have two sentences or clauses of equal rank. I had a terrible headache. I still went to school. We can join them together with a coordinating clause. I had a terrible headache, but I still went to school. We also have correlative conjunctions. These are pairs that work together, like either and or neither and not. There are also subordinating conjunctions, which join a dependent and dependent clause. Common subordinating conjunctions are because, since, as, although, though, while, or whilst, and whereas. I ate dinner because I was hungry. I drove while talking on the phone. Finally, we have number 8, the 8th part of speech, the interjection. Interjections are closely related to exclamation marks. Interjections is word to express someone's emotions towards a situation or action. Examples include wow, hey, oops, oi, alas, and many more. And also, interjections are parts of speech used to express emotions or feelings directly. They don't have rigid grammatical structure and often stand alone as such expressions. Interjection can be used to express a wide range of emotions, such as surprise, wow, joy, hooray, frustration, rejection, no, or agreement, yes. They add additional color and nuance to conversations, helping to clarify or enhance the emotions the speaker wants to convey. The conclusion is noun, words that represent people, places, things, or ideas. Examples include dog, city, book, and love. And verb, words that express action, state, or occurrence. They describe what a subject does or what happens to it. Examples include run, eat, sleep, and think. And adjective, words that describe or modify nouns and pronouns by providing additional information about their qualities or attributes. Examples include beautiful, happy, tall, and smart. And then adverb, words that modify verbs, adjectives, or other adverbs by providing information about the manner, place, time, degree, or frequency of an action or event. Examples include quickly, very, here, and often. And preposition, words that establish relationships between nouns or pronouns and other words in a sentence. They often indicate location, direction, time, or manner. Examples include in, on, at, under, and before. And pronoun, words that substitute for nouns or noun phrases to avoid repetition or to make sentences clearer. Examples include he, she, it, they, and we. And 7. Interjections, words or phrases that express strong emotion or sudden feeling and are often used independently. Examples include wow, ouch, bravo, and alas. And 8. Conjunctions, words that connect words, phrases, or clauses to create compound sentences or show the relationships between ideas. Examples include and, but, or, because, and although. The main conclusion is part of speech is a word category used to classify words based on their functions and role in the sentence. The main groups include noun, pronoun, verb, adjective, adverb, preposition, conjunctions, and interjections. It forms the basis of language structure and helps in comprehension and sentence formation. Okay, that's all from me. Thanks for watching and thanks for your attention. Hopefully, I will see you soon for another lesson. Bye bye.